To begin, I am going to present via Evernote itself. There is no PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to use my Evernote note itself to present. And that's again a premium feature, but so welcome to the webinar. So initially, first, we want to see what really is Evernote. So Evernote is like a notebook. Um, it's like a notebook, and your notes are like the pages in that notebook. And you must have used notebooks for keeping your notes while studying for exams and stuff like that. And keeping files where you keep your CME certificates and files where you keep your insurance papers and stuff like that. So all the filing system is what Evernote is. So there are three main functions what Evernote can provide you with. The most important one is the first one, and I consider it as a continuation of my brain or an extension of my brain. I use this Evernote to store stuff which I can access from anywhere, and I can find things fast. And I'll show you examples of such a thing working for me in Evernote. And so I call Evernote literally an extension of my brain. The other two functions of Evernote is not something that I use very often, but some people may like using that, and I'm going to cover that a little bit, maybe not as much as I cover the first part. And the second is creating content. So you can write notes, you can draw your notes, you can create tables, lists, to-do notes, reminders, and stuff like that. And lastly, you can collaborate. And I'll give you an example of how you can collaborate towards the end. So my main focus is going to be the first part, which I consider is an extension of my brain. So this is Evernote here open on my desktop. To explain to you the general layout, the window of Evernote is divided into three parts. This first part is here. This first part shows that there are these all notes. So I have this list of all notes here in my Evernote, and I have about 6,000 notes here, and they have been arranged in a descending order from the date they were created. So these are some of my notes that were created today. And if I reverse it, then this is my first note that was created in 2009, right? And that's the title of the note, the notebook where it is filed in. So that's this second window, right? And the third window is actually the note. So if I click on the note here, this is the content of the note. If I click here, that's the content of the note. So all notes contain all the pages ever of all your notebooks. So the second part is the notebooks. I have about 70 notebooks in my Evernote, classified into different categories like business cards and stuff like that. And I'll go through it again afterwards. So that's notebooks. I can go back and I can do a arrow here and see all these notebooks here. And each notebook will have notes in it. So like this notebook has 3 notes in it, whereas like say this notebook has lots of notes in it, 227 notes in anatomy. So these are notebooks, and the notes are the pages in the notebook. The third is shared with me. That means these notes are shared. These are shared by my wife, these notes with me on Evernote. And these are tags. Tags are like keywords. Like, you see manuscripts which have keywords to them so that they can be easily searched. So I have about these many keywords to my notes. It helps me find these notes quickly. So I have been over the years developing these tags, and I'm kind of throughout my system as on Apple, Mac OS and iOS, there are the same tags which I use with. So they're easy for me to search. And the last one is trash, where if I accidentally delete a note, it goes here, and I can, put this note back in to its place. It functions like a trash. So now remember, all these notes are notebooks, and notes for me are online. This is completely cloud-based. It's not on my hard disk. Yeah, so this is completely, all my notebooks are on cloud. So that's the first window. The second window, as I told you, is the list of all the notes that I have, and I can have more information here by making these more tables here. Finally, it is this note page. So I'm going to go back to shortcuts. Shortcut means it's just putting notes which you want to access quickly. So for this webinar, I want to access these 3 notes very quickly. So I have dragged this note here into shortcut so that I can see this note. I can go back to it again and again. So in the note, in anywhere you can start writing, write something. And this written stuff, you can, change the font, the size, make it bold, italics, highlight it, make it into a bullet point or a numbered bullet point, or make it a to-do tick box. You can add a divider at the bottom here, like a line here. So separate out things. You can left align it, center align it. You can even add a table here of these many cells, and write whatever in the tables if you want to create some content. And you can add audio to it, like as we are speaking, I can record this audio, and this audio, and this file will get attached here as a WAV file. So you can record lecture notes if you are sitting in a lecture listening to somebody's presentation, and you can record that whole audio in Evernote and keep it there with you so that you can go back to it again. You can take a picture, you can attach a file like you attach in an email, or you can attach like a Google Drive document, because my Google account is connected to my Evernote account. So again, this is my Google Drive, and I can select a file and then attach to this note. So the upper limit of the content that you can attach to this note is 200 megabytes. And that again is a premium feature. But that's it. You can't attach anything that is larger than 200 megabyte to a particular note. So let's delete all this. So that's why this is how you can write something and create a note. Now, the good part of this is, after this overview, is to just show you how I use Evernote, so that you get an idea what something like this can be used for. So let's go to my notebooks. Here are my notebooks, my 70 notebooks. And I have created a stack of 20 notebooks, which are my work related or spine related notebooks. In my 20 notebooks, these are my 20 notebooks, and we'll go to extension of my brain extension. So this is this notebook, and all these pages, 84 notes, are an extension of my brain. I have stored stuff where I can refer back to these notes whenever I need that information. I have these sutures that you use for dural repair. This is a nice video I found on Twitter, which shows how to make a sliding knot. This is Ashok Sham showed one last trick, last seminar, which was, I didn't know about it. I took a picture of it, and it goes here. So if I forget this address, all I have to do is type this, or type Ashok Sham in my search, and I'll get this note back. So these are the notes in my brain extension notebook. These are a collection of notebooks of this is my anatomy notebook, where if I find a good anatomy diagram, I store it in this notebook. Like, this is a beautiful diagram of an iliolumbar ligament. I've never seen an iliolumbar ligament shown like this. I like this picture, and it goes in my anatomy notebook. So similarly, I have collected many pictures related to anatomy in my notebook, and this is very useful when you are creating a PowerPoint presentation. If I'm creating something on vertebral artery anatomy, you can notice that this picture is tagged with vertebral artery and CVJ anatomy, and I can quickly look in the search function and find this picture very easily. This is my classifications, all the spine related classifications, lower lumbar fractures, criteria, kyphosis classifications, and I have literally everything over the years collected and stored here. These are some clinical vignettes, cases that I found interesting are stored here. These are all my CME certificates. I store the CME certificate and tear it immediately if somebody gives me a piece of paper, and never store these pieces of paper anywhere. These are some ICD-10 codes, notes related to surgeries. These are some slides which I found while listening to an online online webinar or while in a conference, I liked something, I took a picture and it goes in this folder. I have, so that's about Spine. Inbox is a notebook that I use where if I don't know where to categorize it, it goes in my inbox. And if I have time later, I will sort that notebook into the right place like this. So if I don't know where it should go, it goes in inbox. Inbox is my default notebook. So these are some of my hobbies. If I collect something about astronomy or photography or something related to Mac, it goes here. These are some of my favorite tweets. This is a project that I'm working on. So all that abstracts which I collect for this project go in this folder. These are my folders. This is my folder which has all my business cards. If I take a photograph, I throw the business card immediately, and the business card goes here. And this is a post about 3D printing that I share with Vaibhav Bagaria. So just to give you an idea what my Evernote contains, your Evernote may contain something else. It's up to you. But I don't keep any file or folder on my Mac where just these documents are lying about. I immediately file them in Evernote, because the beauty of Evernote is your ability to search. Now let's go to the search function. So your ability to search these notes, or these 6,000 notes that I have of something obscure that I have collected some time ago, is the power behind Evernote. And no other software does it so well as Evernote. So that's why this is the leader for more than a decade in note-taking software. And let's search for Invictus poem. So I'll search for it, and there it shows me I have created a note in 2010 where I've copied this poem here. That's how you search for something old that you might have forgotten. You can search for words like these titles, like I want to search for all invoices from Apple. So this will give me a list of all my bills from Apple, which I have bought over the years, stuff from Apple. Any email from Apple with a receipt in it, automatically from my Gmail gets forwarded to Evernote. I don't have to forward it. It's automatic, and it goes into my receipts folder. And these are all my receipts from Apple. So similar way you can do it for others. You can even search within PDFs. Let's say, and that again is a premium feature, but it works pretty well. Let's say I want to search for achondroplasia. This is a surgery that we did recently. So let's see what I have stored about achondroplasia. So these are the notes I have created last year. This is a very beautiful diagram of foramen magnum stenosis from a paper that I read. I stored it here. This is again thoracolumbar kyphosis in achondroplasia. These photographs are beautiful. If I ever have to show this to someone, I have this ready in Evernote. I have a CV of my mentor in PDF, and looks like he has also something about achondroplasia in his CV. He has written a chapter on achondroplasia. Like this has searched in a PDF. It has searched within a photograph or a screenshot of the Arnoldi classification of lumbar canal stenosis. It has searched for achondroplasia. Remember, see, it has searched for achondroplastic. I have typed achondroplasia, so it's smart enough to understand that I would be interested in this kind of a word. So even a picture, written words in a photograph, it can use optical character recognition. It can search your own handwriting. Like if I type pitfalls, it will search my handwriting, which has the word in my handwriting written as pitfalls. And it's not a text, it's an image. So even handwriting, if you have a good handwriting, it can pick it up. Another way to search is by searching by tags. Like I told you, I have tagged many things. So let's say I have a tag of adolescent idiopathic scoliosis. Here it comes here, notes tag. I click on the notes tag, and it shows me that I have 92 notes that are tagged as adolescent idiopathic scoliosis. Now I can refine this search function by adding something more, that I want to search for a tag function only, adolescent idiopathic scoliosis only in the notebook is which is slides. So just show me only those notebooks which are which only the notes that are in the notebook slide. So these are all my notes which are in a particular notebook which are tagged adolescent idiopathic scoliosis. Now I can go further and say that just show me the ones that I've created last year, and it will show you that I have created, oh, there you go. So it shows me that I have created these 6 notes last year in 2019. So this search function is pretty powerful, and the beauty really of all this information is that it is available to you anywhere. So for a premium account, you can use Evernote on multiple devices. On the free account, you can use it uh, for only 2 devices. So the other thing that you can do is that you can use your phone as a scanner, and you can scan documents directly into Evernote using a free app known as Scannable. And that Scannable app can scan documents. It can scan business cards. Again, scanning business cards is a premium feature, but it's totally worth it. That way you don't have to store all these business cards and CME certificates and stuff like that. And with this Scannable, you can scan. And maybe this is just taking too much time, so we'll go back to our webinar here. And so the next thing is, because it is available on your iPhone, iPad, on your Android phone, it's compatible between different operating systems. You can have a Mac and you can have an Android phone, and it just works beautifully because there is a cross-platform compatibility with Evernote. So that's that. And then the second function is how you collect this information. So let's go to how you populate your Evernote with notes. So let's go back to our web browser, and then I want to store this note. I want to clip this to Evernote. I click on this Evernote icon, and the clipper opens up on the side. There you go. So here it gives you an option of storing this as an article or a simplified article. Simplified article will take out all the ads and all away from this page and just make it a clean pictures, a clean article, and then store it that way. Or you can store the full page with all the stuff around it. This is much better. So you can have a simplified article. I can choose that I want to store this in inbox because I don't know where this would go right now. I can put a tag here saying Bill Gates article, and then say save clip, and that goes into my Evernote for me to read about it at a later date. So that's one way of doing it. Let's say you are in PubMed, you are researching on a topic that you are collecting abstracts. You are just going through PubMed randomly and you are just collecting abstracts, say on basilar invagination. Let's say I'm doing a research on this, and preliminary, the first thing I want to do is, let's see what is there about this topic somewhere. And I'm going to pick on this article here, and maybe I should save it somewhere so that I can see if I can get a full text about it later. So I'm going to go back to my Evernote clipper and clip this abstract into a notebook that I have created for my research. So I'm going to use, again, simplified article, or maybe I can choose an article which chooses this. Make sure that you have the DOI number in it, and then say, let's say I want to put it in CVJ research notebook, which I'm collecting abstracts for. I can put a tag here saying basilar invagination, so I know how to search for it, and then say save clip. So it goes into Evernote. So that's one very powerful way of collecting information over the internet and then storing it into your Evernote. Another way of putting stuff in Evernote is using this menu bar helper. So you can click on this menu bar helper and then just say remember to get water, right? So you can save a note as simple as that in Evernote, or you can clip a rectangle. I want to clip this photograph into Evernote. I have dragged it, and there you go, it goes into Evernote. Or I want to take this whole screenshot into Evernote. I can clip this and the whole screenshot goes into Evernote and I can save it. You can do a lot of things with this menu bar Evernote as well. Now, another way of putting stuff in Evernote is going on your desktop and and say, let's say I have my desktop is cluttered. I have this geometry problem that I want to solve. I have this very good artwork of a spine, this scoliosis cadaveric anatomy. I want to store this. Maybe sometime I'll use it in my presentation. I want to put these images into Evernote. So I'm going to select all of them and then just drag them over that Evernote icon. And it's just going to create a note of all these 4 notes into my Evernote. And there you go. So, and the powerful search function allows you to be random. You don't need to be super organized about it. You can just keep things anywhere you want and still able to retrieve something by just one small thing that you remember about that note. It will be able to pick that up and take you to that note. So all these notes that we created, I created this abstract that I clipped in CVJ Research just some few minutes ago. So one thing that has helped me retrieve my notes even after 10 years is taggings. So let's see these taggings. I have created numerous tags, and over the years I have refined them. Some tags are useless, some tags are useful. Like this Aadhaar card tab has nothing in it. I delete it, and that way this thing over time has developed into something that I can't live without. I have to have this if I have to function normally, because I have my car papers here, I have my insurance papers here, my petrol bills here. So everything is in Evernote. I have no paper bills in my home. So this is something that you would have to start doing it at the beginning, and as you keep on doing it over the years, you will find that this gives you that benefit once you have a library of tags that you have created. So that's one. And then you can share individual uh, notes as well. So let's say I have created this note here, which is a collection of online resources for learning Evernote. So this is a free online course by Tech. This is on this link. This is an Evernote website help. Again, that's pretty good. These are 3 YouTube videos that I found very useful for beginners to get to learn Evernote. This is a cheat sheet for search. If you master this, then this search function becomes like on steroids if you are able to use this well. So I want to share this note with all of you who are watching. So what I will do is that I will go to share here. So you can see that there is a share button here, and I'll say, I want to share this to, say Neeraj. Okay, I'll share it with Neeraj. He can edit and invite. If Neeraj finds something good on Evernote, he can update this note and invite other people. I'll allow him to do that. Evernote resource material. Okay, just to let him know what it is. I have a shareable link on, which means that anyone with this link can view this note. So let's say I am going to keep this on and I'll say copy it. I'll copy the URL and I'll say share. So Neeraj will receive an email and he can see this note on his own Evernote. He can modify it and put more tutorials on it. And all of you guys can use this link, which we can put it up on Orthotech WhatsApp group as well, or you can use this QR code on your phone right now and take that link and go to that Evernote note, whether you have Evernote or not. So that's the beauty of it. So you don't need to have Evernote to see my Evernote note. So let's say I click on this link and it will open on a web page which will show that, okay, you have this Evernote online resources. These are the links here. You can save and copy it to your own Evernote by clicking on this notebook. Or if you don't want to save it, you can trash it and close it. So that's up to you. So this is what you can do with sharing and collaborating. I feel that this is pretty powerful. I have not explored it that much until Neeraj told me to take this webinar. So I found about this just today, and it's pretty cool if you are able to do something like that. And let's say I have this email from CSRS AP. I recently became a member. I don't want to keep this email in my email account. I want to put it in my Evernote. So what I will do is I will forward. This is an attachment which gives me a certificate that I am a active member of the society, and I say forward this email to Evernote, and I have stored my email address. This is my Evernote email address in my contacts, so I don't have to remember this email address. And that's it. I say send, and this goes to Evernote. So the other way you can do is I'm using an email client called Spark, which is free on Mac, and it's pretty wonderful, and it integrates Evernote in it. So I want to save this email into Evernote. I can go to these three dots, go to Evernote and say, save this email as an email, include the attachment, put it in personal records, and add a tag saying membership, because that's what it is, and just say save. So this email with this attachments goes in my membership, and I can delete this email from my email address. I don't need to keep it in my email account because I'll probably lose it. So it goes again here automatically. It will come in your notes. So this is the one which we forwarded using the email address. It came default to my default notebook, and this is one which I stored from Spark, making sure that that email goes to my personal records and it is tagged as membership. So I can search here for all my membership notes, and these are all my membership notes at one place. So that's how you can do. You can forward anything to your email address from any computer that you want. So let's say you are on your work computer and you want something to go to your Evernote, and you don't have Evernote installed on your work computer. You take that stuff and email it, not to yourself. We tend to email things to ourselves because we want to store things in our email address. So stop doing that. Email is used for as a conversation. It's not supposed to be used as a storage device. You use Evernote as a storage device. So if you store that email address in your contacts, you just forward that email to your Evernote instead of emailing it to yourself.
So to clarify, for the common public who has not started using Evernote, whenever you set up an Evernote account, Evernote also gives you an Evernote email address, which is there in your settings.
I hope you found this webinar useful. If you have any questions, we can take them now. Thank you very much.